My name's Catherine. I work for Kiss Me Deadly. We're here today in our workshop, and I'm here with Lou, if she wants to wave, who's
Hi.
like our technical design person. And we're here inadvisably talking about bras from other brands and hoping that that doesn't upset too many people. But because people are like really interested in bras and bra fit, I thought I'd show you just a few of the ones that we've acquired recently, or rather I've acquired recently because I have a bra problem, and let you know what some of the issues are. So this one is from Mimi Holliday. Mimi Holliday is also a little independent brand. I've like been to trade shows with them for years now. I love their stuff, but this is a bra that is sized, even though it's got underwires, S, M, L, XL. I picked it up in the sale in an XL. I do tend to be at the large end of the scale for small independent brands because they tend to have a smaller size range than mainstream brands. Lou is sad because they had run out in her size. The big selling point is the cat embroidery. They also did this in all black, but I actually really like it in the strong contrasting like pale pink with black. I am quite amused because they made a big deal on the website about like how this cat is modelled on a particular cat, and I have to say I'm not sure that I would know that cat if I met that cat based on this embroidery, but you know, it's a nice story. The other thing that I noticed was that they put we often do this, is put a sling strap in, which is put it up the side to give you a bit of extra support. They've done this one in foam, and then they've taken the lace that they are using, which is also on the cradle. They've taken the lace that they're using and they've covered the inside of the bra as well, which I can't. Do you think that's because it's just easier to sew,
Possibly.
or is it because it's a nicer finish?
Less fabrics,
Maybe. I've got to be honest, we probably just would have left the foam on show because like it's the inside of a bra and we just don't get that fussy about it. Anyway, I'm going to go and put this on and then let you know how an XL bra fits. I should also let you know, when you order from Mimi Holliday, you do get lots of fancy packaging. It was very pretty. It took up loads of space, so I dumped it. Hey, I'm Catherine, and I'm back with the cat bra. For the avoidance of doubt, because this is a bra that will pretty much mean that anybody's nipples would fall out of it, but particularly mine. I am wearing like weird shiny beige pasties because if we showed nipples, A, we wouldn't be able to show this to you, and B, the 4 horsemen of apocalypse would appear and the end of the world would start. So we worked really hard at never showing you a nipple. But they're in there somewhere. And I can tell you from having tried this on without them that basically if you're like me and you have quite large nipples, then it will like stick out between the cat's ears, which I think is hilarious, but you may not enjoy. So Lou measured this and she said she thinks it measures as a 34D. Is that on the +4 or the +0 method?
+4.
Yeah. And on the +4 method, I would usually go for like a 36 or sometimes even a 38 back. So I have got this on the looser setting, and it's slightly squishy. It's a fairly loose back anyway because it's mesh rather than power net. It's a fun boudoir bedtime bra. It's not a running around in it all day bra. The padding is like giving me some uplift. I had to smoosh my breasts into the centre because there is far too much breast tissue here for what probably was designed for a B2C cup. so yeah, my cups, they do overflow, but it's fine. Like, the great joy of cutaway cups is that if you've got more breast tissue than there is, then it just kind of like, it has somewhere to go, so you don't get like the ridiculous folded over effect that you can get in a super small bra. Yeah, I think it's cute. I don't know, it's fine. She wants one. She's jealous. She's going to go and see if they've still got the black ones. Just, you know, don't expect it to function like an everyday, fully supportive, you know, shaping bra, basically. All right, I will be back shortly with a different bra. Okay, so if you just wanted to see bras, then like stop now. But if you want to know about the business of bras, then carry on for a little bit, because I am so bad at editing that this has taken me like over a year to get to. And a lot has happened in a year. In fact, I am recording this at the point where we're in the middle of a pandemic and there are murder hornets and George Floyd has died, or rather been murdered, and a lot of things are happening, and I feel a bit ridiculous talking about corsets and bras, but you know, that's my job, so I'll get on and do it. So we looked at that bra a year ago, partly because it was on sale. As it turned out, we probably should have been a bit more concerned about the fact that it was on sale, because shortly afterwards, Mimi Holliday closed, and they have not come back, and we don't know why that is or what's going on. What I can say is in the last few years, a lot of small British brands, even medium-sized British brands, and you're going to get a bit of a shock when I talk some numbers in a minute, have closed. Some of them get bought out, some of them get resurrected, and some of them don't. Now, lingerie always has a lot of churn because running a lingerie business has what we call small margins, which means like the amount of profit that you can make after you take out the cost of everything from what you sell it gets quite tiny for reasons that you can look at on the Lingerie Addicts blog. But it has been more than normal in the last few years in the UK, and there are a couple of reasons for that. One of them nearly took us out, which is that kind of within the space of 12 months, I lost a lot of my retailers. We found that the retailers who were still around wouldn't put in orders in advance, wouldn't commit to stock, and a lot of retailers just vanished. We kind of went from having lots and lots and lots of small shops and small internet stockists to them just not really existing anymore. Some for personal reasons, a lot for business reasons. There's been a kind of move towards bigger and bigger stores. Now, I don't know if that affected Mimi Holliday at all. We are not in the same social circles. The British class system is very real in the lingerie industry. So we don't know anything at all. And also, they are not a large company. They're not small, they're not as tiny as us by any means. They reported a turnover at £1.9 million, and that sounds like a fortune. I mean, wealth beyond the dreams of avarice for me. But in business terms, you get a very weird thing happening in business where lots and lots and lots of businesses are very, very tiny and are dealing with, you know, amounts of money small enough that they don't even have to register for the British version of sales tax, which is called VAT. And then there's a sort of small number of businesses that are medium-sized, which includes those people who are at turnovers of things like 4 million, 9 million, that kind of thing. And it's only a very small percentage of businesses that turn over lots and lots of money. Now, you might think that at £9 million, everything is hunky-dory, nothing can go wrong, you should have some money in the bank, you should be able to survive things. In reality, pretty much always all your cash is like tied up doing things. It's being used for stock, or it's being spent on premises, or it's being used on staff. Like, it's always in use. People don't keep money to one side. Big businesses are generally insured against things, and they do have plans for emergencies and stuff, but there has been a lot of change in the last few years. One of those changes has been what we call currency volatility. So basically, for British brands like ours, the price of things keeps changing all the time because of political instability in our country and some other factors, but mostly the Brexit thing. Everything that we buy, not just stuff that we manufacture here, you have to remember that we don't actually have any of the things that we need to make lingerie. They have to come from overseas, even if you're making here. And most companies don't make here because the factories, the bigger ones, are no longer working. So that means that we have to import stuff. And if we import stuff, then we're importing it in either generally euros or US dollars. So if the price of the pound falls against the euro or the dollar, you will notice it when you go on holiday because the price of everything that you go to buy will go up. And we will notice it because we will end up paying more for fabrics, components, or products. The problem with that is that sometimes it happens when we don't expect it. Some companies are insured or hedged against that, and some of us aren't because we're too small. So it's possible that some of the companies that have vanished in the last couple of years, it's literally been because their costs unexpectedly got out of control. And if you're plugged into like a whole schedule that you can't get out of and your costs start to change at random, it can be very, very difficult. Now, we were fully expecting Mimi Holliday to potentially resurrect. It's quite common for bankruptcies in this country to be followed by either a sale, if you're a big brand name that has value to someone. So sometimes somebody buys them out or reinvests, or sometimes there is a form of bankruptcy, including the one that Agent Provocateur went through, where you can kind of dump the debt and then get going again. It's very controversial, but it can be useful if you've got a business that could still employ people and keep things turning over. I live in hope that Mimi Holliday will come back. I do occasionally look at their marketing and think, I'm pretty certain someone invented the bowback knicker before you did, but that's just my scepticism. They made beautiful products. I wish I had bought more things in cat embroidery. And I guess all I can say to you is that in the middle of everything else that you have to think about at the moment, do bear in mind that small to medium-sized companies can go under so easily. So if you want them to make it through crises and you are lucky enough to have come through any of this in a position to spend some cash, then it's worth thinking carefully about who you want to spend your cash with and who you want to support to get through this and get to the end of it. I hope that you're all well, and I hope that you're all safe. And I'm going to go and do some other bra stuff while I've got my face painted on. Bye.